Alrighty guys, we're back for Deathtouch Aggro, and this is a Dragonstorm Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. Now this is very much a Fynn the Fangbearer build, so even though it's a legendary creature, we got all four of them packed in. It's a 2-mana 1/3 with Deathtouch, and whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters, which is kind of no joke, dude. We're going to be pairing this with seemingly powerful Deathtouch creatures like Dragon Sniper. This is a 1 green mana 1/1, Vigilance, Reach, Deathtouch. That's a lot of things packed onto a little 1 mana creature, huh? Should be great in here. Now we also have 4 Bilious Skulldwellers, 1 mana 1/1 with Deathtouch, and a little bonus on this one, it has Toxic 1 as well. Cool stuff. Not the only toxic creature we got packed in. All 4 Venerated Rotpriest, 1 mana 1/2 with that Toxic 1. And whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter. Now we can target our own creatures with cards like Hard Hitting Question. 1 green mana sorcery speed, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Now if we take a look at Deathtouch and how it reads, Deathtouch says, any amount of damage a source with Deathtouch deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. So these bite spells should really go the extra mile with all these Deathtouch creatures, huh? So Hard Hitting Question isn't the only bite we got packed in. We have Infectious Bite as well. 2 mana instant speed, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So it can't hit planeswalkers, but that's fine because also each opponent gets a poison counter. Cool stuff. And not the only removal packed in, we have all 4 Anoint with Afflictions, which should really do the thing today. Exile target creature with, if it has mana value 3 or less, but it also has Corrupted, so you just exile that creature instead. If its controller has 3 or more poison counters, which should be all too easy with this deck list. How about the top end? We got a couple Preacher of Schisms, a pretty good Deathtouch creature, same concept as Glissa the Sunslayer. Or Glissa Sunslayer. There's no "the" in the name, I suppose. Not going to take the time to go over these cards right now, though. We do see them quite often, don't we? More removal here on the top end with a Vraska's Fall as a 1/of. Okay. And then how about all 4 of this Qarsi Revenants? I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. So, it's a 3 mana 3/3. Flying, Deathtouch, Lifelink. Okay. Also has Renew for 2 and a black. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a flying counter, a Deathtouch counter, and a lifelink counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Dude, what on earth? Is this not just like really good? But also, what's going to be nice here too is that lifelink's going to pair beautifully with these bite spells as well. But of course, yeah, the Deathtouch too. Everything about the Revenant should work really well in this deck list, I hope. Now the double black might be a little bit greedy because, you know, the mana bases are hard sometimes. Now, if we look at the mana base, we're opting for early land with the Blooming Marsh, the Wastewood Verge, just tapping for green at first, but it should be all too easy to just power up this Verge and be able to tap for swamps as well. Now, we do have an even split between the swamps and the forests, even though we are leaning a little bit towards the forests, and that is because of that Wastewood Verge. Mana fixing on the Mirrex, but also potential Phyrexian Mites to help us slip that Toxic through if the opponent ends up wiping the board or something. And a couple of the Mortuaries as well. More Swamp and Forest to be able to power up that Verge. Just a couple though, because I don't want it slowing us down too much. That is 23 total mana, by the way. Honorable mentions, not a lot of card draw, not a lot of ways to restock our hand at all in here. Actually, like, no ways outside of the Preacher of the Schism, right? So it's a little sketchy for sure. I thought about cards like Gix, Yawgmoth, a Praetor, because I think it would be all too easy to get our Deathtouch creatures by creatures that the opponent just don't want to block with, and then we end up drawing pretty well off of this. Meanwhile, we're not, like, we're taking that damage, but we're not too concerned thanks to the Revenant's lifelink and stuff too, so honorable mention for a very good reason. It just doesn't really fit that whole Deathtouch theme, does it? Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some Ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Dude, I don't know, man. I feel like it can go really fast. So I'm hoping for a lot here. I think we have just terrific removal packed in too. Oh, heck yeah, bro. Look at this hand. Oh, buddy, we got Fynn, we got Rotpriest. At this point, I'm going to skip the Rotpriest and try to get 2 poison through with Fynn next turn. See what Dragon Sniper can get done here. Oh, Dragon Sniper's out of the equation. Oh, I got ahead of myself. I'm going to exile the Underground Mortuary because there's 23 mana. There's a great chance of finding more. We got the 2 we want right now, and I like everything else in this hand. So, all right, come on down, Fynn. Go, 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 Dragon Sniper. Get the poison ball rolling. That's cool. Now, big target on Fynn. Oh, it's a sacrifice, so we get rid of Dragon Sniper for sure. Ooh, another Dragon Sniper. Okay, but we don't have double green on the board, so we only get to pick one of these. I think it's going to be Rotpriest, unfortunately. That's because I expect the Fynn to get targeted. And we don't have to do that before combat, by the way. We could have swung first, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. I'm expecting Fynn to get targeted by spot removal, and then Rotpriest continues the poison ball then for us is the concept. If we would have established Dragon Sniper, we would have had to rely on drawing another Fynn. No double white is great news because that means no temporary lockdown. Oh, holy cow, guys, we are in the clear for a turn here. Now, it's too bad we don't have a creature to target with the hard-hitting question. In other words, we would have had an extra poison rolling through here too. On us up to 7. Yeah, based on the hand. I mean, it's a shame that I exiled that Mortuary. Maybe I should have sent the Vraska's Fall instead. I'm terrified of a board wipe, but I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, we're just going to go for it, guys. All right. Untapped mana, but it's not a... Oh, Ruthless Negotiation. I'm a little concerned about sending the Fall now since the opponent's so close to the 10 poison. It makes me feel sad because Revenant was going to be exiled instead of sent to the grave. Opponent? Are you sure you don't want to play it out, buddy? Aw, man. Really want to see the top card. Yeah, I think Revenant was going to be the exile, and if it was the discard, I'd feel much better about that since it has that renew ability, which is actually... That's a pretty spicy ability, man. I mean, you renew it and put a Deathtouch counter on Rotpriest while Fynn the Fangbearer's on the board. That's pretty wild. But also, I feel like we got a little lucky this game, as the opponent missed their second white source, which is pretty essential for what we see when these deck lists are running board wipes. Temporary lockdown especially is one that we see early on there. And of course, Day of Judgment, and then eventually Sunfall too. So lots of board wipes that require that double white on the board. The opponent just didn't get it that time. All right, opponent, what you bring into the table, buddy? Yeah, keeping that Fynn around for so long was wild. I would have never expected Fynn to survive that long against Orzhov colors. Woohoo! These are good hands, dude. These are definitely a good couple first hands. Aw, Swamp. Aw, man. Okay, let's try the Fynn. What the heck? What's going on, man? What's this feeling? Creatures on the board. It's unheard of. Oh, Dimir colors. I'm gonna pass it back. Now we're finding some mana, huh? Preacher of the Schism is going to be excellent here. Start with the swing. See if they remove the Fynn. And then Preacher of the Schism gets to stick around and just be an excellent card on the board. Yep. Now, we don't have any extra protection in this deck list, but it could be something we consider in the final thoughts, as we are seeing a lot of spot removal. That's why I was making the joke. It was super weird keeping the Fynn around for so long. Now, even without worrying about poison, just swinging with Death Touch creatures, we should be able to get there. Okay, start with the swing. See what we see on the Preacher of the Schism. It's more mana. We don't really want to see that. But 23 mana in here for potentially good reasons. Alright, do we dump it? Do we dump it? Let's dump it. They're still 2 mana away. Okay, that lands. They're still 2 mana away from the Deadly Cover-Up. And we could top deck a Fynn. And we potentially have more card draw next turn with the Preacher. No, unfortunately, Preacher of the Schism gets hit by another Go for the Throat from the opponent. We still have Anoint with Affliction open against Dimir. That really could matter. Still, 3 Death Touch creatures on the board. Skulldweller might get the 3rd poison through, and Anoint with Affliction might even have more targets opening up here for it. More mana. Oh no, guys, that's pretty bad. That's a little bit of a flood, right? Not the worst flood, but it's definitely a little bit of a flood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the top 12 with 23. Yeah, I guess a little bit. Okay, they go for Fishy to block the Sniper. Is now the time for Anoint with Affliction? Oh, they're going to block the Skulldweller. Alright. Alright, I mean, if not now, then whenever they play their fairies or something, but we really need to see something that's not land next turn. For sure, dude. Holy cow. For sure. Fifth mana. It is a Deadly Cover-Up. Oh no, it's mana. Okay. Oh, now we can complain that it's a flood, right? All right, let's see what the opponent can pull off here. At 6 mana. Okay, Jace in the build. This is probably, so it's the Dimir control that has the top end demon that I can't think of. How could you, Jace? How could you? Wow, Fynn was chilling? Oh, man. Oh, no. The mill on the Jace really messing up that turn. I think we're in a ton of danger, guys. They go -2 on the Jace. My cards, why? Dude, that Fynn chilling, though. That Fynn could have been wild. Alright, Tinybones. I mean, that's not terrible, but with them being able to generate little fishies and everything, I guess the Revenant is not bad, but we'd rather wait to see if Tinybones can survive the turn first, right? I guess we still play the mana too. Yeah, we'd rather do the Revenant's renew ability like next turn. Maybe fly in, maybe in case Sheoldred's Edict. Okay, guys, I think we're controlled. And if the opponent doesn't show that they could win in the next couple turns, we should probably hop into the next game. They go Treasure Token on Fountain Port. If it is that top-end 6-mana demon, they have enough black sources now, right? Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, it's they need all 6, right? Venerated Rotpriest is actually a pretty good draw, so I'm going to stick around for a second here, for sure. Opponent. Oh no, opponent, why? Okay, let's give it to them, right? Let's give it to them. I shouldn't stick around when I'm pretty sure we're fully controlled. If Rotpriest hit, I'd probably go an extra turn just to see more on top, and then Rotpriest gives us a chance. They drop the GGs in return. Thank you, opponent. Yeah, let's give it to him. Let's hop into the next one. Sometimes I have to be a little bit more vigilant than I usually am with like letting the opponents play it out, because sometimes they have it on the board and like they might have a fun swing. I let it go through, but there's a chance that they might not have the mill, and like mill might be their main win condition, and it might take them an extra 10 turns or something. And those 10 turns, they just continuously control everything that we see off the top. So look at this hand, dude. Wow, the opening hands. Opponent goes first. These opening hands have been terrific, man. Holy cow. Oh no, Dimir colors. Why? Let's get a Rotpriest down. So at the very least, when they target, we'll get the poison ball rolling. Because I think we're going to go second Rotpriest. We're going to save Fynn as a little bit of a surprise swing once we get the Deathtouch creature down too, I guess. All right. Rotpriest is out of the equation. Like I said, now we got the poison ball rolling. If we would have established Dragon Sniper, I don't know if it would have been targeted, but... Okay, this is a green source as well. Can get Rotpriest and Dragon Sniper. Might consider dropping a mana, guys. I might consider it. We'll see how I feel at the end. If I drop a mana, I might go up a protection spell. I don't know what protection spell right now, but... Bitter Triumph on the Rotpriest. They still got the Verge open as a terrific Dimir dual land. Alright, guys, more mana. 4 poison this time, though. That's good news, at least, but... Like, it wasn't a cut down. That's great. Against Dimir colors, I can only imagine... Oh, it's going to be a very similar deck list to the last one, huh? Another a Jace here. They go minus. More mana! Oh no, we're flooding, guys. We're definitely flooding. Now, remember, Deathtouch reads to a creature. It's too bad that it doesn't include a Planeswalker, huh? Either way, we're going to be hitting face here. And you know what? I'll swing with the Fynn, too. Why not? Why not? If we were up against different colors, that like if we were up against Esper, for example, then they might have a card that actually pops tapped creatures, and I wouldn't swing with Fynn for fun. I'm just swinging with Fynn for fun against Dimir. I don't think they have anything that cares about tapped creatures. Oh, brutal, dude. Hey, new addition to Dimir control for the opponent, the Scavenger Regent. Then shuffles itself back into the deck list too. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. We went really, really slow here. We saw too much mana. This is a problem. I don't really want to concede against 2 Dimir deck lists in a row. We'll see what we can pull off though. They go minus... or they go plus on the Jace, -3 on the Dragon Sniper. Roiling Dragonstorm. So Dimir Dragons, huh? That's pretty cool. There's probably, I mean, based on the omen on the last one, yeah, dude. And there's some blue dragons that would be pretty cool for that as well. They're not giving us creatures for these, and that's actually pretty rough. Even so, now that the Dragon Sniper is -2/1, it's not like the Jace is not the most ideal opponent. This time we won't swing for fun, especially since they got the 3 mana open, but they still want to take it out anyways with a Caustic Exhale. Oh no, guys, we've been controlled again, and not giving us creatures to target. Also, both of our Rotpriests getting taken out super early as well. I don't know. That's brutal. That's brutal. We have to consider protection, and we might consider a mid-video revamp. If we flood in the next game, we'll do it. We'll mid-video revamp. That's very rare, but we might. Usually I say more testing required, but this is just way too much mana. Oh no, guys. Oh no. That's really bad, right? Oh, wait. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, the opponent's been milling us too, so it's really hard to tell. 9, 10. More mana off the top. Oh man. All right, let's drop up the good game. Again, I'm trying to be more vigilant about these longer games and like letting the opponents play out the longer games too, because it's always better just to get more matches in, you know what I mean? The flood was real, but the opening hands were so good. Oh man. Yeah, one more. If we flood in this one, I'll change it in the middle of the video. We'll drop a land and we'll go up a protection spell and we'll look through the protection spells and decide which one as well. Guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, by the way, make sure you check out that description where we have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And also, guys, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you. Opponent goes first here. I'm going to keep it because I have a feeling we're actually going to use the removal this game with the opponent going first. Edge Maze. Not exactly what I was expecting, but Heaped Harvest. All right, yeah, 4 mana. Guys, again, I hope I only have 23 mana in here because it's definitely been feeling like a 26 mana deck list. Hey, Rotpriest. Hi. Hello. Okay. All right, so we'll actually go forest. We'll get the swing. Nothing there. Okay. That's something, dude. Rotpriest was a really good draw. Because now when they target, we'll get the poison ball rolling. Heaped Harvest for some ramp. So Teamer ramp, all we know so far with the 2 Heaped Harvests. Uh-oh, they grab Plains. Guys, are we going to be able to use our removal today? Grabbing the Plains is terrifying because we could run right into a board wipe next turn, and that would probably be it, right? All right. We swing. I'm not going to play around it. We don't know what's in the opponent's hand. I'm not going to play around that board wipe because we got to go, dude. It's an ill-timed explosion. Oh no, we're getting picked apart, guys. Oh no. Right. So, Fynn. Oh no, that's so good. But our cards are gone. Dude, this is rough business, huh? Sometimes a deck list we put together just gets so picked apart that it just feels bad for it, you know? But I'll tell you what, the amount of mice that I was seeing, dude, I'm thoroughly convinced that usually all this extra removal and everything is really going to come in handy. I'm convinced that we're going to do a mid-video revamp here, though, to try to do a little bit better for the last half of the video. What's this? A card that we can hit? Guys, we have something to remove. Oh my goodness. Ooh, 3 steps ahead. They only got 1 mana open. Right, so I mean, we could just wait for our turn, do the hard-hitting question, and then wait for Anoint another turn. I think that works because we could see a Rotpriest off the top. A Revenant should be pretty darn good too, bro. First of all, we want to get this through. So we're going to start by trying to pop the Thundertrap Trainer. I suppose their 1 mana could be something here. Gasp. Gasp. It's on Horse the Tower, dude. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Guys, send help to this poor deck list. Oh my goodness, bro. Okay, well, at least we have the Revenant, which is something. They don't have the counterspell with the 3 steps ahead. Okay, first of all, okay, all right, let me say this, right? I could have played around the board wipe. I decided not to. And that matters because there was a chance where I actually could have got Sunslayer down on the following turn. And then maybe Sunslayer would have been the pop over the Fynn. Okay, Vraska's Fall is pretty good. One second, opponent. I'm thinking, apparently, I have too much removal in here. Maybe we could drop 1 piece of removal as well. Vraska's Fall is good. The thing that I want to do that... Okay, first of all, we're going to try flying over with the Revenant. Because if they have removal, they'd want to remove that now. Okay. Maybe I just save everything. Like, this isn't even worth picking up, right? So, 2 instant speed cards left in hand. We don't need the life gain off the hard-hitting question and the lifelink either. So, like, it's not worth picking up when we're flying over anyways. What is that? What is this? Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Deals 4 damage to any target. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Draw 2 cards. Gain 4 life. Holy cow. And they gain 3 life off the cornucopia. They returned our forest and popped the Revenant. Holy cow, dude. I guess I'll just Vraska's Fall before they counter it with the 3 steps ahead. Oh my goodness, man. Okay. But it's not always going to be control deck lists that we're up against either, right? So we might just be getting really unlucky. Ill-timed explosion just for some card draw. You don't have to discard on the ill-timed explosion. Also, they gain 2 because of the cornucopia and get a good swing with the prowess monks. Not bad, opponent. Not bad. Really cool deck list. More removal? And they have 3 open for the 3 steps ahead, so I guess we'll get that out of the way. Okay, I'm actually going to save the other Anoint with Affliction since they weren't interested in saving the monk. I'm going to save the other one. Maybe we can get them to tap down a little bit on their turn. And maybe there's something we could do. Probably not. Maybe we should concede again. This would literally be the most I've ever conceded in a video, though. Wow, they're even going to take my Revenant out of the grave, too. The opponent's deck list can deal with anything. This is crazy, man. This is wild. This is cool. Jeskai Revelation. I wonder if that's the main build around here. Yeah, we might as well see if we can get that 3 steps ahead out of the opponent's hand here. They decide no. It's mana. Good game, opponent. Oh no. Oh no. Dude, sometimes you gotta laugh, man. Sometimes it really is that bad. So let's see what we can do here. Mid-video, try to get 1 or 2 more games after we patch this up a little bit, huh? Deathtouch Aggro? Crap, dude. I mean, we're really getting picked apart. Like, very, very much so. Let's drop a Underground Mortuary, right? And then, let's drop the Vraska's Fall, which feels a little bit bad. I just think Anoint with Affliction is going to be a little better because there's still a lot of mice floating about. And we're going to go up 2 protection spells, which I think the most important thing to look for is going to be hexproof. At that point, let's see here, guys. Defend the Rider isn't a terrible one because of the hexproof and indestructible, but also if we're missing other creatures, we could actually generate a pilot with this, and then the pilot can still be the target of other things as well. like our fight spells and stuff, right? But the Royal Treatment, of course, the extra ward and the extra +1/+1 is pretty decent too. Snakeskin Veil, similar concept, but we don't get the Indestructible on the Veil. We don't get Indestructible on the Royal Treatment either, though. So outside of that, Overprotect, giving Trample to some of the Death Touch creatures could be pretty good, but now that I dropped the mana down to 22, I think I'm leaning towards Defend the Rider, even though the pilots aren't going to do anything special for us. Just having that option, having the, first of all, hexproof Indestructible, the Indestructible clause is pretty important too, right? But now if we're missing a creature, we can still generate a creature and still have a way to potentially use like the Infectious Bite or something too. I think that makes a lot of sense here. We're leaning even further green, which still should be fine if we just consider Verge a green source until we find one of our basics. All right, guys. Mid-video revamp, super, super rare, but I think everyone will appreciate the fact that I sat down to do that. Let's see if we can actually pull off some end of video victories. See if we can do something now. I do also feel like we're getting a little unlucky based on the deck lists, and most of the time we're not going to be favored against control, which is all something to consider when we talk more about this in the final thoughts. Nothing fancy as far as poison goes. The opponent goes first. I'm going to keep this because we have Anoint with Affliction, and I'm still waiting for the mice, so... Clockwork Percussionist, that's something. They go for the swing. We see both defend the riders after trading out. Huh. Yeah. So Clockwork Percussionist and Boros usually go wide, which is definitely a problem. Your T and Frontliner. Pretty good targets for the Anoint with Affliction. Oh. Oh. The targets got a little worse. Right. So they would love that trade for sure. Defend the Rider does protect it, I guess. Is that really what we want to do for the turn? We could just keep Anoint with Affliction open. Maybe if they have Gleeful Demolition on the Percussionist, we can stop all of it at once. It's pretty awkward. But we send it back and keep Anoint with Affliction open, and then we're hoping that this Revenant can really pull us through with that lifelink and everything. Yotian Frontliner back from the dead. And full swing. They're going to boost the Percussionist. It's probably worthwhile. Probably worthwhile popping that. And it's probably not worthwhile blocking. Yeah, at least Frontliner is going to exile itself at the end. We take 2 less here. They don't get any extra cards off the top with Percussionist. They do find another Gleeful Demolition, though. Crap. Crap. And that's the main reason that we kept Anoint with Affliction open, too. So that's a problem. Okay, so... Okay, analysis paralysis is hitting hard here. It's gotta be Revenant, but if they find, like, Case of the Gateway Express or whatever it's called, and they just pop Revenant that way, it's gonna feel pretty bad, right? Yeah, we don't really like the trade with the Dragon Sniper either. War Leader's Call. Oh, crap, dude. Well, Frontliner comes back from the grave, so I guess but we still don't... We'd rather them pay the mana over another call, but if they find more mana and a call, and then the Death Touch trading into a 3/3 is much better, but we're taking 10 here. Gaining 3. Ow! In danger! In danger! All right. Hard-hitting question. Now's your chance. Now's your chance, buddy. Gain us back up to 10. Keeping all the blockers back, or do we go back up to 13. No, we keep all the blockers back since they missed removal last turn. Too bad we don't got some dual land on the board. Other words, if we did, keeping Defend the Rider open would be particularly good. Yep, because now we're going to have to trade. So we... Doesn't matter where we block because the Revenant still dies. We're going to be a creature down. We take 9, we gain 3. See, that'd be so good if we had different mana. The Defend the Rider, definitely a worthwhile addition. So Fynn the Fangbearer, but again, with the mana that we have on the board. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Man. Even the Revenant's ability, the Renew would be so good here, right? All right, let's get the Fynn down. We're on the run today, man. We're on the run. When I put this up on Aether Hub, I definitely got to put it up as jank, even though the opening hands were so good earlier, especially. A Gleeful Demolition number 3. Oh no. Also, guys, some of this game could have come down to me earlier when I was greedy with the Anoint with Affliction. I could have taken the 2 from the Percussionist and waited for the second Gleeful Demolition. They'd have 3 less goblins on the board, which really matters. So part of that match could have come down to me. So I'm being a little hard on the deck list, but seriously, yeah, part of that could have been my fault. Keeping the Anoint open, the whole reason was to stop a Gleeful Demolition, but I still decided to hit the Percussionist since they ended up boosting it that turn with the other artifact. Okay, I got distracted by the hand. Right, so opponent goes first. We have a dual land this time. That's good. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah. Novice Inspector. Rotpriest. That's good. It's really good. Yeah, we gotta get this poison rolling for sure. Another thing too, yeah, had we found the dual land, we probably still would have been in that last game, right? Because the Revenant would have still been alive with the extra life gain. Although the opponent was really popping off, so maybe not. Could double down on the Dragon Sniper, or we could just exile Elisil Core before it gets out of hand. Or we could get the Skulldweller down too. Or we could get the Skulldweller, keep the Defend the Rider open. Defend the Rider could really come in handy. That's probably worthwhile, right? 3rd mana. They activate the clue. They only got 1 open now. We still might target with Defend the Rider, but they don't have great swings as they don't want to trade into the Skulldweller regardless. They might try the Inspector, but I doubt it. Oh, this might work out nicely for us. I'm going to give it a shot. It ain't sticking, so... Cut down on the stack would be more poison from the Rotpriest. Oh, oh! It just worked out. That's really good, man. That's really good for us. Okay. Okay, that was a great turn. Another 3 mana card, though. The Inspectors block really well, don't they? They double block the Rotpriest, too. I guess Anoint with Afflictions open. Trade into the Skulldweller's pretty bad. We go for it, though, right? We try double blocking the Rotpriest, then we go Anoint with Affliction to save the Rotpriest. We get the poison through there. Okay, we need mana off the top, guys, and I went and dropped down to 22, but we should be fine and dandy for finding a 3rd mana, right? Deep Cavern Bat's gonna take, Revenant, probably? What do you guys think? No, probably Sunslayer. That helps us restock as it gets through. And the first strike Deathtouch is so brutal. Meanwhile, the Revenant. Okay, they do take the Revenant, though. I mean, that is an equally powerful pick, for sure. Now that they know what's in hand, though, a little bit of a problem. Looks like they might activate Clue for the turn. Okay, third mana, Sunslayer can come down. That's great news. So, still they could double block the Rotpriest. We pop the Bat and get the Revenant back, but we won't have double black quite yet. Still worth the full swing, right? I think so, because they don't know what we drew either. They're going to trade, and we still get 1 extra poison through, up to 3 poison now. So now let's get the Sunslayer down. Excuse me, guys. 5th mana from the opponent. Sunblessed Healer. Return target non-land. Oh, they grab a Inspector. So they kicked this for 4 total mana. 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Worthy cost to pop the Sunslayer. Oh dear. Infectious Bite. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah. All right. And I'd love to pop the Bat, but I guess we don't want to trade into this on the ground, and we want to swing with the Rotpriest. So the opponent's tapped out. I'm just going to play this now. And they know what's in our hand, too. So, like, just getting it down right then and there is totally fine. 7 poison, guys. Deep Cavern Bat takes the other sniper. I'm on the edge of my seat. I would love to end the video with a victory for this poor, poor deck list. Fynn, hi, dude. Wow. We have so many creatures on the board, guys. I guess Fynn before combat, it affects combat because I'm pretty sure we swing with the Dragon Sniper. Regardless of their trade here, we accept that trade. Like into an LSL Core, awesome news, right? Into a Deep Cavern Bat, awesome news, because we get some cards back into our hand, which is essential. They go Clue for the turn, see what they see, and now they make the decision. They do trade with the LSL Core. Well, I don't like that they saw their card off the top, then decided on LSL Core, because if it is Raise the Past for the turn, that's going to be Sunblessed Healer, bring that LSL Core back. Now's the time to see the rest of the removal in this deck list, for sure. Case of the Gateway Express is going to pop that Fynn, but it gets around the Rotpriest because it's not a spell on the stack. Oh no! Oh, Preacher of the Schism's good. That's good. Dude, we're in so much danger, but crap, because they have so much life, we're not drawing on Preacher of the Schism. We're actually just going to be generating lifelink tokens. Well, they find some removal, but luckily Rotpriest, at least this is removal that works with Rotpriest. They want to go full swing because they need to win in a couple turns because the Rotpriest might win in a couple turns. They do keep LSL Core back for the block on the Rotpriest. I guess that also makes sense because of the Toxic getting through. Yep, we get like our only hope is Rotpriest right now. Defend the Rider. We're at 12, guys. They got 8 on the board when they block with the LSL Core. They got 11 if they don't block. They don't know what's in our hand. Oh. Oh, okay. I got a little confused there for a second. I was thinking Rotpriest had Death Touch, so the swing would have been worth it. So actually, we'd prefer to block next turn and just protect Rotpriest if they find more removal off the top, right? So we don't want to swing. I got a little confused there for a second. I was thinking, oh, Death Touch, they block with Elesil Core, we give it Indestructible. They do hold the healer back this time, and they're just swinging in the air with Deep Cavern Bat. There's a reason for that, huh? They saw right through the plan. I'm pretty sure we want to keep the Rotpriest. We don't want them to hit the Rotpriest on the stack of the Defend the Rider. So we want to keep the Defend the Rider back, which is super awkward. More mana. We're on a 2-turn clock for the Deep Cavern Bats, and we might just die this turn, but what we prefer is removal for the Rotpriest, and then we end it with the Defend the Rider. They go full swing. All right, we're going to have no choice but to use the Defend the Rider for Indestructible, and then on the stack, let's see it, opponent. All right, we're down to 1. We need 1 poison getting through, guys. Oh, Elesil Core. No. Let me see the top card, please, game. Guys, we had no way through because if we blocked the Elesil Core, the 8 would have gotten through with the Sunblessed Healer and the Deep Cavern Bats. I want to see this top card so bad. Ah, man, that could have been anyone's game. Guys, let's go talk about this deck list, huh? Man, I went in with high hopes. We got obliterated. Holy cow. I mean, it was so bad that I might have to put jank in the title of the video, which doesn't always happen, right? We did some changes, and I appreciate those changes. I think you guys like those changes too, right? The Defend the Rider really showing off in the games after we added it to the deck list. And let me know, do you think this is the right protection spell? Since we're generating, we have that option to generate pilots that we can then have targets with our hard-hitting questions or Infectious Bite, especially the Infectious Bite, as it helps us push those extra poison counters through. Now, also having protection for cards like Fynn the Fangbearer is really good as well. One thing I don't like is the fact that I went down the dual land. I'm going to go back up that Mortuary that we had at the beginning, and we're going to decide what other land to drop here instead. But let's think about that as I continue to go over the rest of this too, right? The Dragon Sniper, unfortunately, there's like a lot of 1/1s, and we don't really like this trading into those 1/1s at all. So, outside of that too, I mean, Vigilance Reach Death Touch is pretty wild. That's a lot. That's a lot on a card. This is definitely worth it, because if we weren't running this, we'd just run another 1-drop that's Death Touch, and another 1-drop that's Death Touch. It doesn't usually also come with Vigilance and Reach too, so I mean, definitely 110% worth it in the Fynn the Fangbearer build. Anoint with Affliction. I'm shocked that we didn't see more mice today. I think we actually would have had a good chance against mice, but I mean, Fynn also gets picked up by Lightning Strike. Rotpriest gets picked up by Burst Lightning, but at least Rotpriest is stacking those extra poison counters onto the opponent as they're targeting all that too. The Revenant. Yeah, it was the only thing giving us hope against that Boros Go Wide with the extra lifelink and everything. And I'm surprised the Renew didn't come in handy, but after we dropped to 22 mana, we had trouble finding the 3rd mana, even though we flooded out in a lot of those other games at 23. It's just like, it's one of those things. It's Magic the Gathering. It's going to happen sometimes. We can't be too upset. If it feels unlucky, it probably is a little unlucky, right? And, at that point too, I'm being very hard on the deck list, but it is going to be janky, because if we played another 10 games, I sat down, played another 2 hours, another 10 games, I think based on what we saw today, we'd win maybe 3 of them, right? And we'd probably lose 7. So this is an under 50% win rate, janky deck list for sure is what I'm feeling, right, in my gut. So I shouldn't say for sure then, but that's just like, that's what I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Those are pretty brutal. And like I said, you got to laugh sometimes, because sometimes it is just so brutal that it's like, what What's happening? What's happening to this poor deck list right now? Also, guys, I could see going up even more Defend the Riders or even more protection, or some protection that also gives trample could be really good too. Not having too much card draw in here is a little bit detrimental. You know, if we revisit this, I'm thinking Sultai colors. That would be pretty sick. Adding blue gives us extra options for extra ways to restock our hand as well. I could see Chartacourse going into a Sultai version of this build since we love to attack with all of our Deathtouch creatures anyways. That sounds really cool. If you guys are interested in Sultai Deathtouch aggro, let me know in the comments, and maybe that will do a little bit better than what we saw here today. So guys, like I said, I wanted to go back up that dual land, but what do we drop? And I'm looking at that Mirex as the card on the chopping block. It mana fixes us for 1 turn, but now that we have protection that we like to keep open as a green source, we pass it back to the opponent, and now we have like this open, colorless land that very rarely in the late game versus very specific deck lists like Control generates an extra might that just might potentially get us there. And as a one of, how often is that going to happen? I think Mirex is actually the drop, and more often than not, we just want to have the excess dual land on the board. Mortuaries are the choice because there's swamps and forests that help us power up the Verge with the other swamps and forests packed in, giving us 14 of the 22 lands, powering up the Verge to be excellent dual land. Other than that, the early land, now it all makes sense to me. Still leaning green, and that's okay, because if you're leaning green, we got that Verge leaning green too, so it makes sense. It makes sense to me. I think you guys will agree with me there too. So we definitely did some changes. It probably got a little better based on those changes. Again, I'm being really hard on the deck list, even though those, realistically, those matches were really hard on the deck list. I actually can't believe how much it got picked apart, especially with how good the hands were too. There are going to be some games where you just see Fynn, and Fynn survives for some reason, and you just obliterate the opponent. Guys, for real, I think this deck list is more than capable of turn 4 victories if you go first, right? I'm pretty sure. What would that look like? Dragon Sniper turn 1, Fynn turn 2, swing with Dragon Sniper, 2 poison. Turn 3, you have 4 more poison on the board with Fynn and Dragon Sniper if they both survived. So turn 3 could be like an Infectious Bite or Rotpriest from hand, Infectious Bite, pop the opponent's chump blocker, 2 more poison, then swing with Sniper and Fynn for 4 more poison. That would be 8 poison. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, it's more than capable of turn 4, but you're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot to stick around on the board. I guess also turn 4 victories could look like something like multiple Rotpriest early game, and then, yeah, same concept, anything that targets your creatures. Even if the opponent targets a creature, having that protection. Actually, now that I'm looking back on the deck list, it feels a little silly that I skipped the protection before taking it into ranked. You know what I mean? I don't know what I was thinking. Like, why was I thinking the creatures would stick around? You know what I mean? So, and it's important. Like, some people don't like protection spells at all, but the concept here is you don't want to trade your Fynn for their go for the throat. You want to trade your Defend the Rider for their go for the throat, and you want to keep Fynn established on the board. And so in that sense, in the right deck list, protection just makes way too much sense. And guys, there's also the Overprotect that could be really good for this deck list. +3/+3 trample, hexproof, indestructible. Hexproof, indestructible, of course, is what we want to look at, but when you give trample to Deathtouch creatures, that is pretty deadly. But then also, yeah, even if you're not like popping multiple creatures that they blocked with or something, just trampling over, like they think that you're not going to get that damage through with Fynn or something. They think you're not going to get an extra 2 poison. Now you get to just give it trample. It makes a lot of sense. Overprotect is one to think about for sure. Oh, guys, hey. Hi. Don't put this on the do not craft. Put this on the do not craft list. My brain was trying to say do not craft this. Now, outside of the rares, it's relatively budget, right? Skulldwellers uncommon. Tinybones is mythic, actually. Defend the Riders, uncommon. Uncommon for Dragon Sniper. Uncommon for hard-hitting question. Common for Anoint with Affliction. Uncommon for Fynn. Uncommon for Infectious Bite. I'll tell you what, guys. All these uncommons is actually not very budget-friendly because uncommons dwindle down very, very fast. You run out of uncommons very fast, especially in a deck list like this. Look at all those. Wow. There's the commons, and we got some rares here with Rotpriest, Preacher of the Schism, Sunslayer, and the new Revenant as well. There's our mythic for Tinybones, and then the rares and the mana base too, which I'm not going to rearrange. It's not, I would say, not very budget friendly. The new Revenant is super interesting. I definitely have to try this somewhere else as well. In the Deathtouch build with all these bite spells, it makes a lot of sense to me, dude. I like this. Yeah. But also the double black held us up in one game, right? Where we actually had 2 forests on the board, which is one of the reasons why going up the other dual land makes a lot of sense. Oh my goodness, guys, we're almost an hour in. Holy cow. Let me know if you like the changes that I made to the deck list. Let me know if I'm being too hard on the deck list. Let me know if I could have just played those games better and maybe we could have found a way through in some of them. Either way, even with the changes, I'm still going to put it up as jank. I'll probably put jank in the title too if I remember. So yeah, let me know, what would you add or take out? Do we just need even more protection spells? Very possible. Or maybe you guys like that idea of trying out Sultai, a 3-color poison deck list with Fynn the Fangbearer and some of these new poison cards, not poison cards, Deathtouch cards, especially the Dragon Sniper being a particularly fun one that works so well with the bites. So, okay, guys, I think that's it. Enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.